Hello, everyone. Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. It was another very great week for the stock market. We're going out at all-time highs. Nothing to really complain about there. The tickets indicator, strong as can be. This is super bullish. As long as we're above zero, we are in what I call the sweet spot. You give me a great technical setup, strong relative strength, leading stock, leading industry group. I'll go heavy, especially if it had a recent episodic pivot event, and double especially if it had a recent earnings episodic pivot event. This past week, a lot of great earnings. Nothing I really saw that was like AAOI or FSLY the previous quarter. It's still kind of early, so I'm sure something can show up. But overall, everything is strong. Ratio charts, the two most important ones, QQQ versus SPY, new all-time highs. Not all-time highs, but new highs. Maybe all-time highs. I don't know. XLY versus XLP. I still have, it's a little weak short term, but there is still a series of higher lows and higher highs. So everything is lined up on the ratio charts. Tickets indicator is good. Seasonality wise, we should be selling off already for a midterm election year, and we're not. In every other year besides a midterm election year, we keep on going higher until about the middle of May. Then we pull back into June. We'll see if that plays out. But so far, seasonality wise, we're much stronger than where we should be at this point. So everything is lined up. Everything looks good. That being said, this past week, while there's been a lot of great action, the setups are still extended. And if they're not extended and just overbought in the short term, the ones that are not extended and are breaking out of bases, they're doing so with weak relative strength lines that are lagging the leaders, moving lower with a series of lower highs and lower lows below the 21 EMA. So not everything is lined up. We've just been too strong. We really need to pull back. And so while you see on the daily, we're strong right here. If you look at the hourly, since about, when is this? I can't even tell, April 16th. On the hourly, this is why price is all that matters. But as we're moving higher here, we're showing negative divergence in my tickets indicator, which is basically a stair step version of the MACD. So we do have weakness there. When we're above the zero line, the best times are your signals and entries when also you're above the zero line on the hourly and trending higher. So it's we're seeing negative divergence on the hourly chart. We'll see if that comes into play on the daily time frame. Now today, amazing earnings report in my opinion out of TWLO. Nothing to do here for me. I tell you what, there are certain market environments where when everything is lined up, I get long. If seasonality was lined up, if sentiment wasn't so bullish, bullishness did come in on AAII survey this week. I didn't check the NAAIM exposure index, but it's still elevated compared to where we were. If everything was more lined up, I would probably be okay with taking Twilio immediately as a new long position based on that earnings report. But how you know it wasn't amazing? Look at the volume. We're not doing HV1, we're not doing HVE. It was just elevated. So, it was good, but it wasn't great. Same with Apple. Excellent earnings report. Was it EREP worthy? Absolutely not. But whenever it is like Xerox, I added this too because it had its highest volume ever, and in this telechart version 7, that's in the past 6 years. Amazing turnaround report, flagged it. I tell you what, whenever we're not so stretched in the index and we're not so overbought, I take this trade too because this is a turnaround earnings event with an HVE Maxarine Bop. The relative strength, as you can, if you look at the bottom of the chart pattern with the white line, it's strong. I take this every time. We have a member who did have the balls to take it, so congratulations, Mike. He is profiting off this, but I didn't take this, and you can see it was up 20% today. But this is just everywhere. SILC yesterday, okay, it's on radar. Pull back, give me a delayed entry. Nope, just keeps going. I mean, there's all of these. MXL, I'm looking for a pullback after earnings. You're not getting it. QUIK, looking for a pullback after earnings. We're not getting it. MRAM, that same individual, Mike, took MRAM after day one, and this was identified yesterday as the best earnings report on my end based on what I saw, based on price action, based on volume, and another immediate 17% gain. But once again, not getting that delayed setup. Band was the second best in my opinion yesterday. I can't believe with it being this extended and after having such a strong day yesterday, you get this day on Friday. I mean, it's just quite incredible. Intel won't pull back, and I'm going to review Intel as we move forward before I get off this video lesson. FCEL won't pull back. SIMO, which became the new top dog after this day, it had a 99 composite, #1 industry group too. I believe the industry group's #2 now. IBD's industry groups have changed, and so I think they're moving much faster than what they used to based on the metrics that I look at, but I'll have to look into it. But they did do a product upgrade, and it does seem to be more loose and more dynamic, I guess you could say, instead of static. But SIMO was identified as the best earnings report 2 sessions ago. Once again, no pull here. And I mean, ON is just another one, just no pulls. Stocks that aren't extended that I like, that had good earnings, but not great. PRCH, it's in the wrong industry group. I believe it only has a 23 composite, so not good enough. But let's say that this maintained its green bop the past 2 days. I'd probably consider this one for sure. Absolutely. But with it being software, losing the green bop, not having a great composite rating, I'll pass on this, but I'm bringing it to your attention. Maybe you like PRCH. Maybe you'll take this one. TWST, I like this technical setup. I like this hammer right above the 21 EMA, but it has earnings Monday before the open. APC, like this IPO oil stock, but look at the relative strength line. It's below its 21 EMA. Now it's strong in the short term, but that's not a relative strength line that I buy. TRDA is another nice setup, but I looked at its ratings and it's number 60 or 63 composite rating and a number 53 industry group, not good enough. Now TEVA, following its earnings report, last time here we got long TEVA and we were able to be a part of this 46% move higher. Still, it isn't anything great, 46% move because it's a drug stock. So far, this is what I'm looking for the delayed entry. So far, it's working out. We'll continue to monitor TEVA moving forward. And then also RSI kind of is consolidating sideways. We'll see if it can actually set up or not. Not quite too sure. It's just a very, very, very strong tape. And then on top of that, there's been a lot of mistakes made on my end. So VIAV was a new end of day long signal all the way back here. This was its initial long signal right here, VIAV. Look at the relative strength line. Then as we went along, got an add signal on this day, and then got a great add signal on this day. But then after this add signal, because BOP went the other way and then went yellow, I moved all my stops to below that low a day, 1742. It ran that stop on this day here, reclaims the 21 EMA with green BOP. I was going to buy back in, but I looked at the relative strength line and was like, yeah, maybe this stock is done. And what it has done since then is just making me look really stupid. So it's okay. I mean, it happens, but um, nice to miss out on a 200% move, huh? Pretty nice looking. And another stock that did that doesn't show up on this chart, VISN. Just want to show you the white arrow where we went long. It had a special dividend, and I'll bring this FinViz chart over so you can see what it actually looks like. This is when we went long on April 14th, okay? And this is what it did. Issued a 25% sell signal yesterday on it if you were long. But what happened here is that VISN had a special dividend, a $10 dividend. They canceled all my stops at Interactive Brokers. I put them all back on. Then I got a notification. It was due to a $10 dividend. It was a corporate event. So then I'm supposed to change it, right? Well, guess who just completely forgot to adjust the stops by $10? I'm raising my hand right now. So there was another miss. So there's another issue where, missing out on gains that I should have had. And then the worst one this week was LWLG. You can see when I initially went long, added to the position here, would have normally been a large add, but volume was actually below average and didn't increase. You can see we have a nice 130% gain from that add. However, two sessions ago, this was a new long position. Now, not everything was aligned. Volume is at least is heavier. BOP is higher than the previous BOP bar, and relative strength line is still trending above the 21 EMA. But there was no squeeze. It's not really a consolidation. It's just a pullback. And LWLG at the time, I believe, had a 78 composite rating. I have to check my paperwork. Yep, 78 was the number 44 industry group. Well, that's now up to 87 and 33. And that would have helped me taking more size, but I saw it gapping up after hours. So my buy stop was at 1209. My limit offset was 1212. With it gapping up, I decided, hey, I want perfect price or no price. I adjusted my limit to 1210. The low day the next day was 1210. Guess who didn't get filled on any of his shares? 2 days later, 38% gain. Congratulations to those at Big Wave Trading that took the trade, but just once again, another example of missing out on potential gains that I should have due to the tricky nature of this overextended market. Also, I didn't take ship on this hammer candle that I told everybody about a few days ago. Nice bot move, but look at the relative strength line. That's why I passed. It worked so far. And then ATOM, I went long ATOM here. We initially had gains, rolled over and basically broke down here, but did so on low volume. Now, I never got a setup again. However, look at it now. Imagine if that doesn't happen, okay? Imagine if that doesn't happen. We don't get this false breakdown. We hold these lows, move higher, 143% gain. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just been a very weird week overall, but what are you going to do with an overbought market? Now, I do have a new long position this evening, but is it grade A? No. Am I going to risk 2R? No. Am I going to place all of my buying power into this name? No. But it's a good setup. TZOO was an earnings winner on this day, and look at the volume truncation in the middle window pane. Just truncates all the volume. Highest volume in a year, highest volume ever according to Telchart version 7, but like I said, it looks at the past 6 years. But still, you can see what the volume did to the past 1, 2, 3, 4 years alone on this chart. Just destroys it. You also get max green bop. You can see how strong the relative strength is. Considered it this day. Was like, oh no, I'm missing it. Considered it this day. Not gonna not consider it today. So I'm gonna get long TWLO above 994 at 995. My limit offset will be $10, and I'll be risking 0.5R capital to this low, which is 860. So basically what I do is I take $10, I subtract it from 860, get that total, divide that into 0.5R of the total account capital, and that will be my share size on Monday. But really, this is the only idea. I have one other idea, but it's now a chase 2 because I didn't take the hammer candle because BOP fell and it was lower volume, and now it's up 25% today, still within a base, still want to take it, but I'll leave that for members only. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your weekend.